What is soda actually doing inside the human body every single day it gets consumed? It feels harmless. It is just a drink. But inside the body, every sip sends a very specific signal. And when that signal repeats every single day, the body begins to change, quietly, gradually, and in more places than most people ever expect. Because understanding what is actually happening reveals something most people get completely wrong about soda and about how the body adapts to the things it experiences most often. So what is the first thing that happens the moment soda enters the body? The answer begins in the bloodstream, and it happens fast. Most sodas contain large amounts of sugar in a form the body absorbs very quickly. Within minutes of drinking soda, that sugar is broken down into glucose and released into the blood. The body responds by releasing a hormone called insulin, which helps move that glucose into cells where it can be used for energy or stored for later. This creates a rapid spike in blood sugar, followed by a sharp drop as insulin clears the glucose away. When this happens once in a while, the body handles it without much trouble. The system is built to manage occasional surges, but when it happens every day, sometimes multiple times a day, that occasional spike becomes a daily rhythm. Blood sugar rises. Insulin responds, blood sugar falls, and the cycle starts again. The body is no longer handling an event, it is managing a pattern. But what does that constant cycle actually do to how the body feels from day to day? After a soda, the rise in blood sugar can feel like a brief energy boost. But as insulin brings those levels back down, many people experience a dip, fatigue, difficulty focusing, or a quiet pull toward another source of quick energy. In simple terms, the body begins riding a wave of highs and lows, and when that wave repeats every day, it starts to feel like the normal baseline. The brain interprets that baseline as just how things are, not as the result of a repeated dietary pattern. That distinction matters because it means the connection between the daily soda and the daily energy crash rarely gets made. At the same time, something is happening in the brain. Sugar activates the brain's reward system. When a sweet drink is consumed, the brain releases dopamine, a chemical linked to pleasure and motivation. This response evolved long ago to help humans seek out calorie-rich foods when food was scarce. But soda delivers sugar quickly, efficiently, and in large amounts. That means the reward response activates strongly and repeatedly. Over time, the brain begins to expect that signal. Cravings can form, not because the body needs soda, but because the brain has been trained to anticipate it. And when it is not there, the brain notices. The desire for soda is not a weakness. It is the brain doing exactly what it was trained to do. This is how a daily habit becomes something that feels harder to skip than it should. But the brain and bloodstream are only part of the story. There is another organ quietly doing extra work, one that most people never think about when they open a can of soda. That organ is the liver. Many sodas are sweetened with high fructose corn syrup. Unlike glucose, which can be used by many different cells throughout the body, fructose is processed almost entirely by the liver. When large amounts of fructose arrive on a regular basis, the liver works to convert it. A significant portion gets turned into fat, and unlike the spike in blood sugar, which can at least be felt, this process gives no warning signs at all. No discomfort, no signal, just quiet accumulation. This process happens quietly. There are no immediate symptoms, nothing that signals something is changing. But with daily soda consumption, the liver is receiving that load again and again. Over time, fat can begin accumulating inside liver cells, a condition known as non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, which, in its early stages, often produces no noticeable signs at all. The process is invisible, but it is not harmless. And beyond the liver, there is something else happening, something that affects how much the body eats without anyone realizing it. Soda is a liquid, and liquid calories behave differently than calories from solid food. Solid food triggers a fuller range of satiety, signals the biological messages that tell the brain the stomach is occupied and hunger should decrease. Liquid sugar moves through the digestive system differently, and it does not trigger those same signals with the same strength. That means soda can add hundreds of calories to a day without meaningfully reducing hunger. On top of that, frequent spikes and drops in blood sugar can affect hormones like leptin and ghrelin, the chemicals that regulate when the body feels full and when it feels hungry. When these signals are disrupted, the body may feel like it needs more food even when it has had enough. In simple terms, soda can quietly push the body toward consuming more than it needs without ever triggering the awareness that it is happening. There is one more effect that often goes overlooked, and it affects nearly everything else the body does throughout the day: hydration. Soda is a liquid, but it does not hydrate the body the way water does. The high sugar content can actually draw water into the digestive tract during processing. Many sodas also contain caffeine, which increases fluid loss through the kidneys. The result is that soda can leave the body in a state of mild, ongoing dehydration, even in people who drink it throughout the day thinking they are staying hydrated. And mild dehydration has real effects. It can reduce concentration, lower physical performance, and contribute to that familiar afternoon feeling of sluggishness that many people try to fix with another soda. The cycle reinforces itself. So, what does this all add up to? The body is not responding to a single can. It is adapting to a pattern. Blood sugar spikes daily. The brain's reward system activates repeatedly. The liver processes fructose continuously. Hunger signals become less reliable. Hydration stays slightly off. None of these effects feel dramatic in isolation. Most of them are invisible. And that is precisely what makes daily soda consumption different from other obvious health choices. The body is designed to adapt to what it experiences most often. That is one of the most fundamental principles of human physiology. Repeated inputs, food, movement, sleep, stress, shape how the body's systems operate over time. When soda becomes a daily input, the body adjusts its baseline around it. What is perhaps most important to understand is what this reveals about long-term health. The systems affected by daily soda, blood sugar regulation, liver function, hunger signaling, hydration are not isolated. They are deeply connected to energy levels, metabolic health, weight regulation, and even cognitive function. Research on metabolic health consistently points to blood sugar stability as one of the most important factors in how the body ages and performs over time. When that stability is disrupted daily, the downstream effects reach further than just feeling tired or craving something sweet. This is also why the changes are reversible. Because the body is adapting to a pattern, it can adapt to a new one. When soda is reduced or removed, many of these systems begin shifting back. Blood sugar becomes more stable. Dopamine responses recalibrate. The liver begins processing a lighter load. Hunger signals become clearer. Hydration improves. The body does not hold a grudge. It responds to what is happening now. So what actually happens to the body when soda is consumed every day? The bloodstream manages repeated blood sugar spikes. The brain's reward system learns to expect a daily dose of dopamine. The liver quietly converts excess fructose into fat. Hunger hormones become less accurate, and the body operates in a state of subtle, ongoing dehydration. None of it happens overnight. None of it announces itself clearly. It develops through repetition, through a pattern. The body eventually stops questioning and starts building around. That is the science of what soda does. Not just what it is, but what it becomes when it is there every single day.